G'day, welcome to how to invest in cryptocurrencies. Just a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. This is merely broad information for entertainment purposes. The reason I made this video is because I thought back to when I first got involved into the cryptocurrency market, and I would have loved this information to be presented to me in a concise and in an introductory sort of way, sort of fashion. So what I'll cover in the presentation today is I'll go through the introduction, explain what exactly cryptocurrency is, some basic terminology which you will hear, cryptocurrencies themselves and how they can be divided into asset classes, some strategies you may want to use when you're buying and also selling, and also some tips where to gain some information, source of information, and also just some basic points in the conclusion. Right, so first of all, cryptocurrencies, what are they? So they are digital assets used as a medium for exchange. So you'll never hold a cryptocurrency in your hand. It's all a digital based tokens or coins, and they're used for paying for goods or services similar to what you use money for now. The reason why cryptocurrencies are in vogue at the moment is a number of reasons why they are. Number one, I suppose the first one is they can be decentralized. They're not stored in one separate area. They're used throughout the globe and transacted upon through different blockchains. They're not owned by a government or an organization. Some of them aren't, and so no one has direct control over them. They are. And the most important one is they're utilised for peer-to-peer payment, and so you don't need a third party involved for you to pay someone your cryptocurrency. So you can store your own, you can transact on your own, and you can send to someone else all on your own devices. Some terms that you may hear while you're in the cryptocurrency space is FOMO, so the fear of missing out. All that is the impulse to quickly buy or sell. FUD is an acronym for fear, uncertainty and doubt, and this refers to any news, fake news, rumours which are spread to influence decision, whether that decision may be to force a sell or to implement a buy. HODL simply means to hold. Okay, it refers to the strategy of simply holding your assets, not buying, not selling. Fiat refers to the traditional existing monetary system that we all use. So different countries have different monetary systems. For example, here in Australia we use the dollar and cents. Technology. So exchanges. So exchanges are where you can buy, sell, or even store cryptocurrencies, and this is usually done online. And this is the sort of the main sort of area and where people go to buy cryptocurrencies. You can buy, for example, Bitcoin, for example, using an ATM, a specific Bitcoin ATM. If you can find one, you can use one to use for that purpose. Wallets are a place where cryptocurrencies are stored, and broken into two main ones. There's a hot wallet, which is used online. A lot of cryptocurrency exchanges have their own hot wallets online where you can store your cryptocurrency. This is not recommended because they can get hacked into. Cold wallets, those wallets which are referred to as cold wallets, are stored offline. So it's and most cases an actual storage device used offline. Blockchain refers to a distributed database. All right, so that's where information is stored. So blockchain is not cryptocurrency. However, cryptocurrency can be used on a blockchain. Altcoins. That term refers to any coin or token other than Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first sort of digital asset released, so any other coin that's not Bitcoin is referred to an altcoin. So a pump and dump is another term you may hear, and this is when the price of a coin moves up in a massive amount in a very short period of time. So that's a pump, and then the dump refers to when the coin actually rockets back down again, or not rockets, but actually sinks back down again. And this, once again, can be done over a very short period of time. So this happens through market manipulation, through FOMO, through FUD, and the other thing that the price will be manipulated through is people buying on a rumor and then actually selling on the news. So you'll hear that term a lot. ICO refers to initial coin offering. So this is where developers, who are implementing a coin, may offer the coin at an initial price prior to it being released on an exchange. So just a word of warning there. There's over 2,000 altcoins existing at the moment. Many more ICOs in development. Because ICOs don't have an actual use case, or they're not a product that's in use at the moment, it's a bit speculative, and for that case it's quite high risk. So just be aware of that. A white paper. So this goes hand in hand with an ICO. So a good ICO will have a good white paper. The white paper is a document which tells you what the coin's actual use is, and it may have also a roadmap there, which includes a timeline to let you know when where the coin is in different stages of development, and what they're aiming to achieve in a certain timeline. Right, so still on basic terminology, most of the coins and tokens are represented by a 3-letter ticker and also a symbol. Right, just for an example, just to let you know what I'm talking about there. So if we take Bitcoin for example, so Bitcoin's 3-letter ticker is BTC, and its symbol is there. Same with XRapid, is known as XRP, and its symbol is that cool looking X. And Cardano is known as ADA, and it goes by that symbol there. So most of the coins have tickers and symbols. Some of them are 3 letters. For example, if we go down, we have a look at Smart Cash. It's actually got 5 letters. Pivx has got 4. So most of the times you'll see the tokens and coins represented by a ticker and a symbol. Now we know what a digital asset is. Now we want to know how to invest into it. So when we talk about investing, it's important to understand that investing is when you do your research and you understand what the coin is about. So if it's got an actual use case and you think that it's going to be used for something and it's actually solving a problem, you do that by researching the coin. That's investing. If you're just throwing money into the market without doing your research, that's just speculating, and it's a form of gambling. Alright, so what to invest in? Because there's over 2,000 altcoins, you want to know, you're quite overwhelmed by what's out there. In this case, a good method to help you choose an asset is for you to decide what an actual use case is. And to do that, if you have a look at in real life, and you look at the experiences that you've gained through your movement through life, what products that you use at the moment do you think have a good use case? And if they do have a good use case, that's how you use them. The same goes with cryptocurrencies. So you may decide that you're using a product today in your life, and then you look at a cryptocurrency area and decide, well, that particular coin or token relates to something that I use, or it's actually got a good use case, it'll make that product better, then that's not a bad reason to invest in or to put on your short list to have a look at whilst doing your research. And look at the asset classes. So we can narrow our investment approaches into the altcoins by looking at the asset classes themselves, or what they represent, and we can use this by having a diversified approach. So we look at the different asset classes. We may not want to invest and put all of our investments into one asset class. We may want to diversify that and then sort of spread the risk over a couple of different classes. So we have a look at so they can be broken up into the following areas: payment and currency, protocols, exchange, in the fintech area, business and logistics, the storage of management and information. If the token is actually a platform, so what I mean by platform is if they're actually going to be built on for other uses by other coins and other services, and also what their utility is, or what their best use case is, what their application is. Right, so if you go, you can see that this one breaks it down and gives you an idea on what sort of coins, and this is not an exhaustive list, this is just a snapshot on some of the coins that are out there, and some of them actually fall into different areas as well. So look in the payment area, we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin still be developed as an alternative to fiat, and that's what it's designed and used for. Same with Litecoin, very fast transactions. And if you look down here at Tether as well, Tether is developed to link in with the USD. So one Tether is going to be worth the same amount as $1 US. So what people tend to use the stable coins for, that's what Tether is. The stable coin is because its price doesn't fluctuate as much, because it is tied into the amount of the US dollar. When there are large dips in the market, people tend to sell their tokens, invest in the stable coin. When the prices go up again, then move from the stable coins into their other investments. So looking at protocols and exchanges, an example here is BNB, so that's the Binance coin used on the Binance exchange. A Quantstamp, for example, used on the Ethereum platform, and that's used for verifying smart contracts. Computing and data management, Golem here, for example, looks at using the unused storage areas on personal computers to develop, or computing power to develop a supercomputer. Sia Coin looks at developing the blockchain for storage of information. Other examples here, there's other ones that don't fall neatly into these other areas, so they've just put into other areas, like IOTA, for example, used for the Internet of Things. Power Ledger over here, used for buying and selling of electricity. Platforms, so like I said, for platforms, they're used to interact upon, and developers can release coins onto those networks. So some and these are quite well known, these platforms here. So these ones here for the gaming, media and social, basic attention token, for example, used to pay developers or publishers, people releasing content on the Brave browser, for example, can use the BAT token there. Funfair, for example, is a coin used for gambling, so you may want to look into that. Privacy coins, the idea behind privacy coins are that transactions to and from and the quantity kept in these wallets are private, so nobody can see where the money or quantity of the coins are going to or received from, and also the contents of the wallet are kept private as well. The fintech space, so the financial technology space, if we have a look here, XRP is developing its use for cross-border payments. So if you look at the current system using fiat money, it can take 5 days to move your fiat from one country to another using XRP. It's done in 1 minute, 30 seconds even, and costs 10 cents. So quite a good use case there. And in the business and enterprise section, if you look at, for example, VET, they're looking at tracking goods through the logistics chain, so at any given time you can tell where your goods are. So just an example on how to diversify and what products to look into. Right, so how to buy cryptocurrencies. So if you want to exchange your fiat into digital currency, you'll need to do that through an exchange, or like I said, through Bitcoin. You can do it through an ATM. If you're using an exchange, be aware that it takes some time to set up your account, so it may not happen in one day, because you do have to get it verified through the exchange itself. So you're going to have to complete know your customer details. You're going to have to produce some and send in some verified ID. That's usually some form of driver's license, something with a signature on it, and details of any bank accounts that you want to link. And depending on the exchange that you choose, cryptocurrencies can be bought through fiat currency via credit cards, debit cards, PayPal, BPay, or other methods such as Poly. So be aware that if you're going to use a credit card, you're going to pay some sort of transaction fee for that to occur. Same with PayPal. With BPay, usually that's free. So moving BPay from your traditional bank account into the exchange through BPay is usually free. Right, so some of the exchanges that we use here in Australia, there are about 9 that are based within Australia. However, outside, if you're looking globally, and it is a global market, there are many more available, and you need to really do your research and to find out which one's best for you. So what I've got here is a couple of links for those Australian investors to have a look at which ones you may like to use. Once again, all of these links that I put in throughout the presentation will be available in the comment section. I'll just go through some of the exchanges I use. For example, CoinJar and CoinSport. Look at CoinJar, that's the website I use. CoinJar is initially it only sells a very limited amount of different coins. So it's got XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. It does have an exchange facility, so you can place in your buy or sell orders that are different to what the market price is. So you can set a price that you want to buy or sell. You don't have to constantly log in and log out. You can set your order and away you go. It offers a crypto debit card, so you can load your cryptocurrencies onto your debit card and use that through any FPOS, which is quite good to use. You can link your Australian bank account for any withdrawals, so once you sell your coins, you can then transfer it onto your into your bank account, and it does offer BPay and Poly as well. The other one that I use is also CoinSpot, so that's a screen grab of the CoinSpot because it does have many more altcoins on it than the other exchanges that I use, so over 100. Once again, you can link your bank account to that for withdrawals, and it does offer BPay, so it's free to send from the Australian bank account onto the exchange. Right, so before we start to buy, like I said before, you want to do your invest. So before you decided to buy and invest, you want to do your research, because that's the difference between speculation and investing, is the research that you do. So you want to have a look at the white paper, you want to have a look at the team behind it, so whether they're a well-established team. It also links into LinkedIn as well, so if they've got a LinkedIn profile, you might want to read that. The price of the coin will depend on how much you want to buy, and if you really want to get into it as well. As you know, Bitcoin's up around 8.5, 9 at any given time Australian dollars. You may not want to buy one, but you can for example buy a percentage of Bitcoin. And then once again, the most telling is the actual use case. So you really must decide if that use case of the coin, that's one of the main factors that will drive its adoption and its use. If it's not going to be used for anything, it's just speculation. If it's just a pipe dream, then you may as well just throw your money out the window. Another thing too with the white paper, you'll get a good idea on where the developers are with the quality of the white paper as well. If it doesn't have a timeline, if it's got grammatical errors, it's like it's been written in crayon, if it doesn't make any sense, that's a good indication of where the coin is at as well. And timing the market. Okay, so if you're coming from the stock market, or you've bought shares before, there are a lot of things that you'll hear from the stock market are sort of equatable to the crypto market. So you would have heard in the traditional markets, timing the market as opposed to time in the market. So it's a bit of both for the crypto sphere. So timing the market here. So if you have a look at the screen grab here, if you've got a massive big pump happening, you don't want to be buying your coins in around, you know, the top price of your green candles, because you can see that on the flip side, we've had a retracement or a dip here. That's where you want to start buying your coins in the green side. If it's got an actual good use case, buy in a dip. Right, before buying though, what you want to do is consider diversification. We spoke about that in the last previous slides, not put all your eggs in one basket, and also the use of dollar cost averaging. So for example, if you have $200, rather than placing $200 in on one day, you might want to spread that out over a month. So therefore you're not buying at the very top. You may not buy at the very bottom, but the average is where you're at. So you're not actually going to lose a great deal, and you're not actually going to gain a great deal, but it's really not going to matter, because this leads us in the next point, because as it stands at October 18, we're pretty much at the bottom of the market over the last 12 months, and we're pretty much at the bottom. So if you look at the market as a long-term investment, if you're buying in October 18 and you decide that you want to hang on to these cryptocurrencies for 5 or 6 years, if it's got an actual use case, it's going to be much more than what it is now. So that's where time in the market takes its place. We've bought. Now we're going to decide how we're going to hold it, where we're going to store our cryptocurrency. So if we move from our exchange, the exchange is going to have a hot wallet function, and that's where the exchange will keep your coins for you. However, that is very susceptible to hacks, and most of the exchanges that I use will advise you to move your coins off the exchange anyway. So to do that, there's some reading there that'll help you decide on what sort of cold wallet is best for you. I use a cold wallet. A lot of the other people that are in the cryptocurrency market, all the the good investors, and we'll give you some referrals towards the end of the slides, always recommend using a cold wallet. So there's the information to look that up. Right, so now that we've gone through, we've got into our exchange, we've decided what coins to buy, and now we want to sort of move on to our strategies to sell. So you identify an exit strategy that's best for you. Right, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that your exchange is able to facilitate the exchange of money from the exchange into your bank account. So make sure that you go forward and verify your account. Make sure you set it up to the largest amount of money that you're comfortable with, because once a bull run does occur and these prices start spiking, a lot of people are coming into and getting out of the market. It's quite feasible that the exchanges will be overwhelmed with people trying to set up their account. So if you get in early now, while there's not much going on in the market, you have your account set up so you can easily withdraw money. So do that now. Then also decide on what strategy you're going to use for selling. So you may not want to sell it all, for a long period of time. You just want to keep hanging on to it, and that's fine. Over 5 or 6 years, there's nothing wrong with that. You might want to decide to sell all of a particular coin and take a profit, or you may decide to sell a percentage of your holdings whilst the prices are up. So that's always good as well. And then also you may decide to sell at sell a percentage or sell all at a high price, and then wait for a dip to buy some more, which is another good strategy as well. Or you may want to use a combination of all of those strategies, depending on what your investment feeling is. Right, some basic tips here, just to make sure you are aware of what you're getting yourself into. So the market at the moment, really is immature and it's volatile. So if you invest now on October 17, you're still really pretty much an early investor. A lot of people, especially within this country, have never even heard of it. If they have heard of it, they've heard some negative, incantations about it. So investing now, you are an early investor. And with that comes some risk, because it's not wholly regulated. It's still like pretty much like the wild west, and it is quite volatile. So make sure you do, and when you are investing, you do your research. And the bottom line there is only invest as much as you're willing to lose, because you can lose it. Also, write down a basis on your portfolio. You've written it down, you've had a think about it, you've written it down, and that's the plan that you're going to go with. So what that stops you doing, if you do write it down, when you go onto the exchange and you're about to invest your, in this example, $200, and you see some other cryptos there with some really cool names that you haven't really heard of, but you're in the exchange and you say, oh, you might just stick to your plan. That's all it is. And the other one is record your transaction. So this is very important as well. If you're going to plan on selling, you have a selling strategy that you want to adhere to, make sure you record your transactions, so you know when you bought these cryptocurrencies, so you can sell at a profit. And if you don't write it down, you're quickly going to forget what and how many you bought at what stage. So make sure that you do record it, so when you do sell, you can check and make sure that you are selling at a profit. Right, so to help you with your investments and your research, there's another of a lot of information out there you can use to help you with your research. So this website here, Coin Paprika, which is the screenshot of it here, it lists all of the altcoins on there and Bitcoin. A good thing about this as well, if you can click on Bitcoin itself, and it'll, or any of the altcoins for that matter, click on it, it'll bring up another separate window which has more information about it. You can do your research in that way. Websites used for those Australian viewers is this one here, so Kryptonians Australia, and it's all in Australian dollars, which allows you to look at the currency that's right for you without trying to do some calculations in your head or spend time doing calculations to figure out what the transfer rate is. Right, so just with the writing down of your portfolio, so one way of doing it is to say, okay, I've got $200 that I'm going to invest into the crypto market. Make a decision on what coins that you've put on your shortlist, and then what you're actually going to buy, and then what ratio you're going to spend on each one. So in this one here, the portfolio I've decided is going to be $200. I'm going to put 60% of that into XRP, 20% into Bitcoin, 10 into Tron, and then 10% into VeChain. So once you've written it down, you then go onto the exchange, and then you follow your written plan so you don't FOMO. Okay, another way of recording your transactions is doing that on a spreadsheet. You can create your own Excel spreadsheet, or you can just do a simple Google search to find an existing crypto spreadsheet out there and place all your transactions onto that. Another way of recording it is to use a website like Crypto Compare. This one here has a portfolio function, so you add your coin, how many you bought, and what price you bought it at, and it tallies it up automatically for you, lets you know your daily price, profit earnings, and also overall market cap of your portfolio. So it's a really good website. It's free at the moment, so something else you may consider. Right, so just to go over the price drivers of the cryptocurrencies. So if you look, I've said this a few times throughout the course of the presentation, but the use case is one that you must look into. If the coin doesn't have a use case, then no one's going to use it, so you're just throwing your money away. Okay, custody and regulations. What I'm talking about there is, I've spoken about how your cryptocurrency is stored on hot wallets within exchanges themselves. Now, if it is hacked, if a hacker comes in and goes on the exchange and gets into your wallet and takes all the coins out there, you've got no recourse. You've got no one you can ring up and just say, hey, my coins were stolen. It's just a bit of bad luck for you. So once exchanges start to work towards the solving that case and placing some insurance or custody gateways, that'll help out. mainstream adoption of cryptocurrency. Same with regulation. So once the governments within the world have eased their regulations or therefore placed in specified regulations on the use of cryptocurrency, that will also allow greater use, great adoption, and then people start using it more often. So to help you stay abreast of what's actually occurring in the crypto space, I've just got a few of the YouTubers that I use now. I've separated the wheat from the chaff. So there's a lot of, if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of crazies out there. So here's some of the guys that I really take a lot of notice of, and their information that they give is unbiased, and it is presented in a really good manner. So Crypto Bitcoin Chris, he gives you market updates. He'll give you all the news that's occurring in the last 24 hours. He posts every day, and he also provides you some analysis as well on where he thinks the market is heading. Now, he also has a Patreon group as well, so if you want to subscribe to his channel and subscribe and pay into his Patreon group, there's something else you can do as well. But high quality, and I recommend that's why he's number one. The Modern Investor, once again, really good content, really good analysis, and he tells it the way it is. So definitely someone to look at there. Digital Asset Investor, this guy is fantastic. If you want to know anything about XRP, just go into his archives on his channel and start clicking your way through his content on XRP. Once again, he releases content mostly about XRP daily, so he keeps you on track with what's happening in that space as well. Esoteric Trading Solution, so Susie from Esoteric Trading Solution, she's got over 20 years experience in the Australian banking industry. You really need to listen to what she's saying and have a look at her videos as well. Once again, she's got her own business, so if you want to click in and get involved with that, she can definitely help you out in the cryptocurrency space. Crypto Jackie releases good content as well, so he's someone else to listen to. And Crypto Eerie, based in Tokyo, and so Japan is pretty much on the front foot when it comes to the cryptocurrency space. So anything you want to know about cryptocurrency, especially coming from Japan, she's all over it, and good content as well. Other methods of researching, so website and blogs, I've just placed down a few links here, a couple of them from the Australian sites. The Medium site there, not only does it talk into a lot of subjects about cryptocurrency, but really any other subject that you've got of interest into. There's a lot of blogs written on that, and they're quite easy to read, 6-minute, 8-minute reads, some good information there as well. So lastly, in conclusion, so have a plan, do some research, do a lot of research, and write down your plan to prevent any FOMO. Bottom line, don't invest any more than you're willing to lose. It is a volatile and uncertain market at the moment. Invest in a cold wallet so you don't get hacked and lose all the cryptocurrencies that you've worked hard to purchase. And once again, take a long-term view. That's what I do. I'm taking a long-term view. I make sure I look at the use case, and I use a bit of patience involved in that as well. So don't buy the green spikes, buy in the dip, and make sure the use case for a coin is there. Right, so having this information presented to you, now's just the time that you really want to decide if it's really right for you, and then sort of decide on what, if any, what amount you're going to invest into. Right, so thanks for watching. Please like, feel free to comment below. I'd like to hear your take on any of the content that I've covered in here. And once again, I'm not an investment advisor, and this isn't investment advice. So please have a good day, and I wish you all the best in your investment into the cryptocurrency space. Thanks for your time.